When I was a boy, I, Chisaki Yado, wanted to be like the heroes who appeared on the TV shows.
Evil will not be tolerated. You face the hero of justice.
Maybe that's why, for some reason, I had a stronger sense of justice than most people. I'd never do anything like throw litter on the floor. And I came to hate injustice with a passion. That's why if anyone was ever in trouble, I'd be the first one there to help them. However, as my sense of justice developed, I became increasingly separated from those around me. People with a strong sense of justice were seen as bothersome. In high school, this became more pronounced, and before I knew it, I was isolated and alone. But in spite of that, I didn't want to change my personality just to fit in. To me, this was who I was, and I received praise from adults. There was one time, however, where someone got extremely angry with me. Just like I thought, burn scars never go away, huh? I looked in the mirror and sighed. It was a long time ago when I happened to be at the scene of a fire. I, who aspired to be a hero of justice, ran in and saved a girl who was still trapped inside. I managed to get the girl out safely, but I was told off. It was only natural, of course. If a little kid charges into danger like that, it's normal to get angry with them. That much was obvious. I didn't regret a thing. I may have sighed, but to me, my scars was like a Medal of Honor. Well, I guess I should go to school. I'm an introverted loner. I have no friends and I'm always alone in class. I have thought about doing something about it. I hated the thought of making friends and the relationships being destroyed because of my personality, so I gave up. That's why I'm fine with being alone, but I wonder if I would be better off making friends. The concerned faces of my parents appeared in the back of my mind. It's not unreasonable for them to worry about me not having a circle of friends. The other day they asked me, "When are you going to invite a friend over?" with great sadness. Sorry, but even still, if making friends was that simple, I wouldn't be in this situation. For the time being, I slumped down on my desk to pass the time.
Yuck.
I was pretending to be asleep when suddenly I heard a disgust-filled voice come from beside me. When I lifted my head slightly, I saw a girl of indescribable beauty staring at me with a look of revulsion on her face. "Good morning, Mutsuki." Her name's Mutsuki Kanabe. She's a girl who's not just well-known in class, but throughout the whole school. Long blonde hair that can actually be thought to be dyed. A beautiful face with elegant features behind a thin layer of makeup. A pair of sharp, piercing ruby eyes that may have colored contacts in. Sturdily built bumps that were visible even in her worn-out uniform that for some reason attracted my gaze. That's what she looked like, but...
Don't talk to me.
For some reason, she absolutely hates me. Okay.
I hate self-righteous people like you who do nothing but talk.
I never asked her, but apparently that's why. I wonder if it's because I'm so different to those around me. No, rather than that, I think the reason is because I gave her a warning on the first day of class rearrangement. When she wouldn't stop speaking to her friend despite the teacher being on his way, I told her, "Be quiet." I thought I was doing the obvious thing, but perhaps she didn't take kindly to it. Man, getting along with others sure is difficult.
Your face is making me angry.
But this is the face I was born with.
Ugly.
Cruel. A loner has nothing to do. Which is why, having no one to sit with at tea time after school, I helped the janitor by watering the flower beds as a way to kill time. Wow, they're coming on nicely. While watering the flowers, I find seeing their progress somehow deeply moving. Despite just being seeds buried in the soil when I first watered them. Now they're proudly bearing their heads above ground. It's probably only a matter of time before the flowers start to bloom. Well, maybe I should get onto the weeding next.
Hey, what are you doing?
That's when it happened. Suddenly, I could hear a voice coming from somewhere. It must have been a girl, judging from the voice. I could occasionally also hear what sounded like a guy shouting. An argument? I naturally rose to my feet. I headed in the direction of the voices and peeped out from around the corner. When I did, I saw a girl who was familiar to me. Mutsuki? She was still with some guy I'd never seen before. Was he from a higher grade?
arm!
You should be careful what you say!
All I did was reject you! Don't you see this kind of thing is why I did it?
Is he asking her out? Well, the atmosphere seems too hostile for that. No, I've got a bad feeling about this. Which is why I came out from my hiding place and approached them. What's going on? When I did, both of them looked over in my direction. Huh? What do you want? Chisaki Yato, Year 1, Class 2. I didn't ask for your name. A little kid like you shouldn't be sticking your nose in our business. Seeming irritated, the guy, who could be thought to be older than me based on the way he spoke, raised his voice.
Hey, what are you doing?
Mutsuki pulled on my sleeves while appearing surprised.
What the hell are you doing here?
It looked like you're in trouble.
You? Forget it. Just hurry up and get out of here.
Don't play the hero, you skinny dweeb!
Leave him out of this!
Seeing him lift me up by the scruff of the neck, Mutsuki became panicked. I, on the other hand, wasn't particularly surprised. It hurt a little, but more than that, I just couldn't stand by and do nothing when someone was in need. I certainly am a skinny dweeb. But did you really think that this skinny dweeb was just gonna come alone? What? Think about it. I'm not here because I happened to be passing by. I came because I could hear a disturbance. Ugh. Given that, don't you think people other than me might have heard too? Yeah! When I said that, he let go of my collar and went on his way. I'm pretty sure he understood what I was trying to say. That the teachers could be on their way. You didn't call any teachers, did ya? No. Wait, how did you know? Because it's you! You stick your nose in without thinking whenever you find someone in trouble, no matter what! Somehow she actually understands me. This is strange. I was sure she hated me.
All the same, I hate you.
I really do think she hates me.
But, well, thanks.
Huh?
You really helped me out there. That guy was trying to rough me up just because I rejected him.
That's all she said, and then she left. The expression on her face was one I felt like I'd never seen before. Good morning, Mutsuki.
Shut up.
As usual, she was extremely blunt. She reacted as if yesterday had never happened. Ugh. She doesn't seem grateful in the slightest. If this was an anime, this would be the part where she changed her attitude towards me. But of course, that's why fiction is fiction. Well, it's not like I stepped in because I wanted her to be grateful, so I guess it's fine. Excuse me, you two. Do you mind if I ask you both for a favor after school today? Huh?
Huh?
That's what the teacher said to me, just as I was looking forward to going home as soon as school ended. For some reason, Mutsuki was stood next to me, and she looked equally surprised. Sure, I don't mind.
Why do I have to come too?
Certainly, Mutsuki and I aren't friends, nor do we even get along. We just sit next to each other. I understand why I was asked, because the teacher regularly asked me for favors. But why Mutsuki? I don't understand. Didn't you say you wanted to boost your grades before?
Well, I did, but...
If you do a good job of helping me, I'll add some extra points to your overall grades. So what do you say?
Ugh.
Mutsuki was lost for words. Did she really want to boost her grades that much? We're still only in our first year of high school after all. But then it will be winter soon, which is a time we have to think about our career paths. Even still, I was surprised someone who looked like such a delinquent was seriously considering higher education.
Fine, I'll do it.
Oh, thank you. Well then, we'll get started today. Do I get a say? For some reason, the conversation proceeded on the assumption that I would do it. I mean, I will if he's asking. As for helping the teacher, he wanted us to choose a location for the school to send students for an upcoming volunteer project. Once the location was agreed upon, we'd pay them a visit, and things like dates and job roles would be decided. The teacher said it'd make the appeal for fully fledged participants. But shouldn't this be the job of the student council or teachers? That's what I was thinking about while sorting documents. Is it really wise to leave this up to regular first-year students?
Will you hurry up and do something? I want to go home quickly.
It is surprising, though.
What is?
You doing this kind of thing.
I want to boost my grades.
Oh, yeah? Do you have a school in mind then?
I do, but I don't need to tell you.
Cone. I thought this might be a chance for us to start getting along, but at this rate, it seemed impossible. You really don't like me, do you?
Obviously.
Is it because of the time I got angry with you after we just started school? Or rather, that's the only thing that comes to mind.
Not really. There's no way I'd hate someone over something like that. I simply don't like your personality.
Yeah, that's going too far.
I hate your self-righteous disregard for your own safety.
Huh?
Like before, you barged in without hesitation, even though you could have taken a beating.
Oh, well, sure, I don't hesitate, but I couldn't just stand by and watch.
You're being deceitful when you say that others are more important than yourself. Think about the feelings of the person being helped. You really are just like him.
Him?
I was left behind in a fire once.
Were you okay?
I'm here because I was okay. Duh. I was saved by a boy around the same age as me.
There was an air of hatred in what Mutsuki was saying, but from the tone of her voice, I didn't really feel like she disliked him. Rather, I could feel what sounded like happiness, nostalgia, and gratitude. It seemed to me as though feelings of affection were showing through. It's amazing to think she was saved from a fire when she was a child by another child. I honestly respect anyone who would do that. I did something like that myself once too, but I was surprised to hear there were other people that do the same thing. I still have a lot to learn about the world. I'd like to meet that person once.
I want to meet him too. I want to meet him so I can kick his butt.
You'd do that to the guy who saved your life?
It's my way of saying thanks. Luckily, I know he has a burn scar on his arm.
When Mutsuki said that, she somehow looked very much like a young girl in love. I see. That's it! The reason she hates me is because I remind her of the guy who saved her life. And because she likes him, she doesn't want to think of me as being similar. In that case, it's no wonder she doesn't like me. And on the contrary, so as not to destroy her image of him, it's okay if you hate me.
I've always hated you.
Well, that just hurts. The next day, having found a candidate, we headed out to a nursery to find out if they'll let the school do its volunteer activities there. By the way, let me ask you.
What?
You don't happen to like children, do you?
Is that bad?
It's not bad, but
You look like you're having a lot of fun.
despite glaring at me, Mutsuki was smiling at the size of her mouth. I thought it was refreshing to see her like this. Without realizing, she'd drawn me in, and I was smiling too.
Stop making that face.
It's not like I could help it. I don't mind if you carry on playing with them for now.
I'm not playing!
I'm gonna go and speak to the principal about the volunteer project. Do I really want to have a sales spirit instilled in me at this young age? We're here as part of the school's volunteer activities, and we'll be happy to assist you when you're short of childcare staff or having difficulty providing recreational activities. In that case, maybe it could be a good idea. On our end, I think it'd be nice to give the kids a nice break. Of course, great hordes of us won't just come barging in uninvited. If there are lots of volunteers, we'll split up their work into days and take utmost care in selecting the right people. I'm glad to hear you say that. In that case, we'd love to have you on board. It's not like I wanted to be in sales, but did in fact feel like I was in sales. There was some difficulty in the beginning, but when he consented so readily, I felt like I might have had a future as a salesman. Which makes me sad to say because I'd already decided I was gonna become a policeman or firefighter.
Hey,
What?
you're a smooth talker, huh?
It's just that I've done this sort of thing before.
Why don't you have any friends?
Cruel.
Hearing you speak back there doesn't seem like you have bad communication skills. If you're a little more sensitive to people's feelings, I bet you can make at least one friend.
I guess I'm grateful for such a kind assignment. But I have no intention of doing that if it means changing who I am. When I said that, Mutsuki fell silent. And so she glared at me with those piercing eyes. Does she hate me that much? What do I do? At this rate, my iron will's gonna get scorched by the Bunsen burner. Actually, it might seem that way, but before I finish my sentence, a little girl had bumped into the bookcase and fallen over while playing. And so, the small bookcase began to topple over with the momentum. Watch out! I reflexively got in between the girl and the bookcase, and maintaining that position, held the girl's body in my arms. Ow! I let out a spontaneous groan, but it didn't actually hurt that much. Don't get me wrong, it did hurt a little, but maybe it was because the bookcase was small? It was probably only enough to leave a bruise.
Chisaki! Are you okay?
I'm fine. More importantly, are you okay?
Yes, I'm okay. But are you?
Me? I'm just fine. Look, I'm not even bleeding.
But that…
As she spoke, a little girl pointed to my arm. The sleeve of the arm she was pointing to was so completely torn off that I didn't even understand how it happened. It most likely got caught on something when I rushed over. My uniform. I want to cry. How do I explain this to my mom? But more importantly, I'm sorry, this is pretty gross, isn't it? And having my sleeve torn off, my burn scar became visible. The burn had been inflamed, so it looked pretty horrible, and was probably quite shocking to a little girl.
No, that's not true.
You're sweet. I was pleased, and gently patted the girl on the arm with no scar. That's when it happened.
Huh?
For some reason, Mutsuki, who had been worried, was no longer saying a word. Right, I thought so. She thinks it's dirty. Even if the little girl doesn't mind, Mutsuki might still not like it. Even though to me, it's a symbol of honor and justice. I don't really want people finding out about my arm, so I'll make sure she doesn't tell anyone afterwards.
Is everything all right?
And so the principal ran over, having finally caught sight of us. After finishing up safely at the nursery, school had already finished, so we went straight home without going back. Neither of us uttered a word. I thought we might have grown a little closer, but there was no conversation whatsoever. If anything, Mutsuki somehow seemed to be giving off a grumpy aura. Is walking home with me really that awful? I could cry.
Hey.
After spending time in silence, Mutsuki began to speak.
That scar.
She wants to talk about this on today of all days? Although, since I have to ask her not to tell anyone about it, it might be a good thing. Oh, about that.
Why?
Mutsuki suddenly shouted. Huh?
Why didn't you tell me back then?
What does she mean by back then? The moment I asked myself that, I remembered the time we were sorting documents. Back then? I didn't really see any need to tell you. I mean, it had nothing to do with me.
But it did! Didn't it? Tell me how you got that scar on your arm.
A long time ago, I entered the scene of a fire and there was a girl.
You saved her, right? You saved me!
Huh?
I knew as soon as I saw it that you were the one who saved me, because it's in the same place as the burn he got when he pulled me out.
No, I thought it was similar, but was it me? My head went blank for a moment with the suddenness of it all.
Come on! Why didn't you tell me?
Mutsuki further closed the already small distance between us. It was as though she was trying to let me know I couldn't escape. No, it's not that I didn't tell you. I didn't think it was me. After all, it was a long time ago. Something as simple as having helped a girl out at some point seemed like it could have applied to anyone.
There aren't that many kids who would intentionally charge into the scene of a fire and end up burn scars on their arm, you know.
Well, when you put it that way…
You can't run anymore.
With that, Mutsuki grabbed hold of my arm firmly. It was the first time I'd been physically intimate with a girl. My heart was pounding. Mutsuki probably thought it was because of the frightful glare she was giving off right before my eyes.
I looked for you for so long. I went around asking all sorts of people. and even went as far as entering a male bathhouse on purpose.
That's a crime.
I finally found you. Thank you. For helping me back then.
She took my breath away. I was completely captivated in her words, completely lost in her expression. And so... Oh, of course. Thank you. Being thanked made me feel like I was appreciated, and it made me happy.
I thought you looked similar, but I didn't think it was actually you.
After that, not wanting to stand around talking, we went to a nearby park.
So, is your arm okay?
Oh, this? It might look a little gross, but it's not like it affects my daily life in any way, so it's fine.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it. Felt good to get that off my chest.
Yeah.
It also felt a little complicated when I realized that you hadn't changed since then.
I get the feeling she goes through some fierce mood swings. Because you owed your life to the guy you hated?
Are you really saying that to yourself?
What else am I supposed to say?
Well, I guess you have a point. No, you're right. What kind of life did you live that you turned into an introverted loner? You were so cool back then.
Those last words. I heard her. But what am I supposed to do? Should I just keep blushing? But you know, right, Mutsuki? It's because I'm not sensitive to people's feelings.
Well then, start reading the air, is what I should say. But you don't want to, right?
Yeah. I want to become a hero of justice. When I said that, Mutsuki held her stomach and burst out laughing. How could she be so rude? What high school student in this day and age says they want to be a hero of justice? Mutsuki laughing hysterically was cute. But more than that, having my dream laughed at got me riled up. I know it's childish.
Sorry, that was mean. My bad. It is funny though.
Later.
You dazzle me, Chisaki.
To sum up her expression as she said that in one word, beautiful. It's no wonder she was so well known at school. A smile radiating from her perfectly proportioned face was enough to make your heart leap from your chest. And so... What? What is this hot feeling in my face? But don't you hate me?
So change. Abandon your sense of self-sacrificing righteousness and become a Chisaki who has a sense of justice. That doesn't involve sacrificing yourself.
This is nonsense.
That's okay. I'm gonna help you.
Help me? Let's see, just what is she gonna help me with? The project we're helping the teacher with? We were doing that together anyway, without needing her to say anything. I don't understand.
To make friends.
Okay, please do. I answered immediately. I want friends. All right, now my parents won't have to worry anymore. After this, my youth's gonna have a sepia-colored glow. Woohoo! With someone as popular and beautiful as Mutsuki on my side, this should be a breeze. It's happening.
That's why. From now on, me and you have to be together.
Well, if she's gonna help me, we're gonna have to be together. But I wonder, when I look at the rosiness of her cheeks as she speaks, I feel like she might mean something different.
That's why we start today, Chisaki.
And that's how I became friends with a girl who hated me. I'm sure these were the best days of my life. Oh, and I'm digressing here. But when we graduated high school, she confessed her love for me. Yep,